Hello, sixth grade. Welcome back. Going to keep on solving variable equations today. Going to show you a third strategy called guess and check. So go ahead and mark this as the title of your next open page in your math notebook. When you've done that, mark your page with a pencil, close it up, and concentrate with me. Speed review. So we've been talking about equations versus expressions, first of all. So just as a quick reminder, an expression is something like this, and there is no way to figure out the value of the variable. It's just an unknown. An equation is something like this, and where it is possible to figure out the value of the variable. And we looked at two ways when it comes to equations, we looked at two ways so far to find the solution or the value of the variable. The first was common sense. Sometimes you can just look at it and tell what the value of the variable is. This may be one of those times where you can just look at this and know what it is. The other was a visual strategy I taught you, where we kind of drew a box for each side of the equation and wrote what would have been in there, and maybe use that to help figure out, okay, if these have to have the same amount in them because they're equal, what does the value of the variable have to be? So that's what we looked at so far. Those are still great strategies. I want you to keep those. I just want to keep showing you even more ways to think about these so that you get more comfortable. And today's strategy is called guess and check. So let me show you how that works. So let's look at some examples here. Here's a bunch of I do's that I'm going to do. So let's start with these ones on the left that are just, equations to begin with, where we don't have to write the equation. So first one, 5x equals 13. You might be able to common sense this, would be pretty tough. You could definitely use the visual strategy. But in this case, I think I'm going to show you the guess and check strategy, which is this, where I'm going to just kind of take a guess at what I think x could be, check it, and if I'm wrong, adjust. So let me show you how that works. So when I look at this, 5 times something equals 13. Off the top of my head, I know 5 times 2 equals 10. If x was 2, this would be 10. And if x was 3, 5 times 3 would be 15. So I know I'm looking for something between 2 and 3. I think x has to be more than 2 or less than 3, because 5 times 2 would be 10. That's too little. 5 times 3 would be 15. That's too much. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to start guessing numbers between 2 and 3 and seeing if they're right. So I might start with 2.5. It's right in between 2 and 3. And let's just see if x equals 2.5. Then 5 times 2.5 is 12.5, not 13. So I guessed, I checked, that's not it. So let's go up a little. So I needed to be higher than that, so let's try 2 6/10. 5 times 2 6/10. Boom, nailed it. I happened to get lucky and get it on my second guess. If x equals 2 6/10, then I get 13. So that's it. So I guessed something, checked it was wrong, adjusted my guess in a logical way, got it. That's the guess and check method. Pretty simple. Let's do another one. 3 6/10 plus x equals 15 1/10. Let's just take a guess. So I see 3 here, and I know 3 plus 12 is about 15. So let's just start with that. Let's start with x equals 12. If I use x equals 12, 3 6/10, I don't even need a calculator for this. Y'all probably do, calculator zombies now, is 15 6/10, so too high. So that's not it. So I need something lower. I'm going to go for something lower than that. So let's work my way down. Let's try 11.5, let's say. That's less. If I try 11.5 plus 3 6/10, Oh, I got it. I didn't mean to keep getting these on the right on the second try, because you may not always get them on the second try. You may have to keep guessing and checking, but I did. So that's it. So x is 11.5 in this case. All right, sometimes we have to write the equation before we can use the guess and check strategy, so let's do that here. So remember, when we see a word problem and we need to write an equation for it, we're looking for two things that are equal, two expressions that are equal in the problem. So here, a pack of 4 raffle tickets costs $9. How much is each ticket? So I think in this one, the expressions, I guess the total price would be $9, and that's equal to the cost of 4 tickets. 4 tickets and the total price are equal, so I'll call that 4t. So 4t equals 9. Now I'm ready for my guess and check strategy. So when I look at this, I know 4 times 2 is 8. That's too little. And 4 times 3 is 12. That's too much. So I'm looking for something between 2 and 3. And I'm just going to try. So if I have to go between 2 and 3, I usually just start at the half. So I'll just start at 2.5. Let's see how that works. 4 times 2.5, will that give me 9? It will not. It's going to give me 10. So 10 is too high. So I need to go lower. So let's go down to maybe 2 4/10. I don't need to get down by much. See if that does it. 2 4/10 times 4. Will that give me 9? Nope, still too high. So I still need to go down more. So let's try 2 3/10. This is the guess and check strategy. Just throw a guess out there and just see if it works. And if not, make your adjustments. Still too high. So I need to go lower. Try 2 2/10. Clear. 2 2/10 times 4. It's 8 8/10. That's too low. So I need something higher than 2 2/10, lower than 2 3/10. So something in between would be 2, and halfway would be 2 25/100. That's halfway between 2 2/10 and 2 3/10. And I think that's going to do it. That's 2 1/4. And I think that's going to be it. Is 9. And I've got my answer. So that one took me more guesses and more checks to do. And that's, I think, a little bit more normal way of using this strategy. So that is the guess and check strategy. Let's do a few in your notebook if we could. Open it on up. Go ahead and pause now and write these two problems down, and then unpause when you're ready to work them out. All right, so this is the guess and check strategy. So let's see, 4x equals 11. I know that, I think same as last time. 4 times 2 is 8. And 4 times 3 is 12, and 11's between those. So I'm looking for something between 2 and 3 again. So I usually just start halfway. I don't know about you, so I'm going to start at 2.5. I already actually just did one just like this. And this was, I don't remember what it was though. 4 times 2.5 is 10. That is too low. So I need to go up to get to 11. So let's try 2 6/10. You don't have to go this incrementally if you think you have a better guess. You don't have to just inch up little by little. Your second guess can be whatever you want. If you want to jump right to 7/10 or 8/10 or something, you're more than welcome to do that. I'm just going to creep up on it a little bit. 2 6/10. Too low still. So I need to go up. 2 7/10. Too low still. 2 8/10. Too high. So I need something between 2 7/10 and 2 8/10. Halfway between those is 2 75/100. And I bet that's it. But let's check and make sure, because it is guess and check, not guess and assume. Times 4. Got it. Is 11. So that's it. So I'm just using, it's, you know, it's common sense, but not right away. Like, we're using common sense to make a logical choice. You'll notice I started between 2 and 3. I didn't say, oh, well, let's see if it's 45. You know, we start in a logical place and work it out. Okay. Bottle of Vindicator antivirus spray has a total price of $4.88. After tax and shipping, the cost is $7.31. How much were tax and shipping? So I got to write my equation here. Remember, I'm looking for two things that are equal. In this case, the total payment is equal to the Vindicator plus the extra costs. I'm going to say the shipping and the tax. I'll just call those the extra. So those would equal. If I take the Vindicator, add the extra, I get the total price. So the Vindicator was $4.88. The extra we don't know, tax and shipping, I'll call that E, extra. And that's equal to the total price of $7.31. So let's use that equation and guess and check and try to figure out how much it was. So let's see, I'm going to try, this is about 5. This is about 7. I'm just going to take a guess that I need to add, it looks like $2. 5 plus 2 would be 7. So I'm going to guess I need somewhere around $2. So let me just try $2 first. That one I can do in my head, so I don't even need my calculator. 488 plus 2 is 688. That is too low, but not by a ton. Looks like what, I'm off by about 50 cents, 80 to 30. So let me try another 50 cents. So what if E was 250 in my guess and check? 250, 488 plus 250, 738. Really close. It's too high. I need to go down. I need to go down by exactly what, 7 cents. So I think I can get it on my third guess here. So I think it's going to be 243. But I'm going to check and make sure, because again, it's guess and check. And if you don't do the check, not sure of your guess. Boom, got it. So in this case, shipping and tax added up to $2.43. So now you've got 3 strategies in your toolbox. I'm going to show you a 4th strategy next time. Now we've got common sense. Sometimes you can just look at an equation and figure it out. We've got the visual strategy, and now we've got guess and check. All 3 great strategies for solving variable equations. I hope this strategy made sense to you. If it did not, please go back and rewatch this. I think it'll help a lot. I think this is a great strategy to understand and have in your toolbox. Once you feel like you've got a good handle on it, you're all done. See you soon.